testimony earlier that only by direct contact can you contract Ebola. Do you stand by that statement?
Direct contact with someone who's ill or died from Ebola or their body fluids.
And it's not airborne. Congressman Matheson just said, and you agreed it's not an airborne, cannot be contracted airborne.
Ebola spreads person to person, not by the airborne route. So it's not like...
So you need personal contact.
Yes.
If you need personal contact with bodily fluids, why is there an airliner in the Denver airport right now that Frontier Airlines has scrubbed 4 times? Aren't they wasted money? Why can't they get that back in service? If you have to have bodily contact, close contact, why scrub that airline?
I understand that people are very concerned about Ebola. It's a scary disease. I can't comment on
exactly. So it's just for public perception. I mean, they really don't need to be doing that. Right?
That's not true.
We have detailed guidelines along with the EPA for how to clean airlines.
I will.
You need a fever to be contagious.
You need to be sick.
Make a citation.
The first symptom of illness is fever.
An Ebola patient's bodily fluids can be left on surfaces for hours.
Late in the disease, when people are deathly ill, they may not have fever, but
that's why the plane's scrubbed.
At that point.
This 21-day period that you need to show symptoms within 21 days from exposure, during that could you be contagious at the 3rd day of that point?
Only if you were sick, only if you had symptoms.
Okay. And the incubation period is...
Everybody knows in medical science and biology
generally within the first 10 days or so.
that you cannot
said here today that there's 100 to 150 people a day coming
be contagious unless you're sick.
You're opposed to travel restrictions, which the constituents in the 7th District in Missouri are very much in favor of travel restrictions. I predict you're going to put
Those
on...
people have the illness before they exhibit symptoms.
I don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow or 2 weeks or a month from now, but I think that they're coming, and I think sooner rather than later. If there's 150 a day and you rationalize, well, we don't really need to worry about that because they could get cross borders, they could go by land and then get here. If that 100 and 150 a day, don't you think that number might be reduced to 5 or 10 a day if we did put on travel restrictions?
I can't comment on what numbers would be.
If someone had to make an effort other than going out to their local airport and jumping on a plane, if they really had to try to get here, don't you think that number would dramatically drop?
I know that people do come back, and right now we're able to screen them, collect their information.
What if they don't come back? A lot of people come in this country and we lose track of them. They don't come back. What happens then? My point is, if you got 150 a day coming in, or you have 5 coming in today, I and my constituents would rather have 5 a day coming in. And this thing of checking for temperatures like it's going to help is kind of like scrubbing a plane that doesn't need to be scrubbed. But I'd like to commend the folks reading this copy of Bloomberg Business Week. Ebola is coming to America. The U.S. had a chance to stop the virus in its tracks, but it missed. That issue came out before Mr. Duncan came to this country and before he was diagnosed with Ebola. There's some good reading in there that I would recommend. I'd also recommend, too, if you want to Google, a hospital from hell is swamped by Ebola. The New York Times, just a few days ago. Hospital from hell. You get a chance to read that. I think that everyone would be in favor of the travel restrictions we've talked about here today.